Hey y'all, coming at you with another video. Haven't really been posting on Facebook yesterday. It's been a couple days since I posted my last video. It was the 9th, which was the solar eclipse. But what I wanted to talk to y'all about today was a subject that's pretty heated right now. And there's two sides that have taken to their corners on it. And the problem with that is it shouldn't be one side against the other in this matter, because it involves the environment and it has to do with the wolf situation in Idaho. Now, I understand that I am not from Idaho. I am not native to Idaho. I've never lived in Idaho. And I don't know about the animal populations that well in Idaho. The only thing that I can see and view is the articles and things that are online for public consumption. I don't have access to raw data, of course, or anything like that. But there's two sides that are fighting against. The wolves are really killing down and driving out the indigenous deer and elk populations, and the other side, of course, you can't go killing all the wolves because the wolves are what creates a circle of life, right? Keeps the environment going. Here's the issue with the thing entirely. And I implore y'all to go on to my Facebook page, which I will post my link in the description box below the video. But there was a discussion between myself and a friend of mine, Jacob Tuckett. Now, I served with him in the military. He's a very good guy. Very good guy. And the discussion between me and him is kind of, it kind of shows exactly where people are at in this country. And you see, I'm not on one side or the other. The side that I'm on is the environment's side. Now, he and I were going back and forth, about the wolves not being indigenous to the area and things like that. Essentially what occurred is the wolves that were indigenous to the area were killed off by trappers and ranchers in the area. They were killed off to extinction. So what ended up happening is transplant wolves were put in the area to help with the environment, to keep the deer and elk populations under control. And due to mismanagement of that, the wolf population kind of exploded, and it's kind of gotten out of control to the point to where now too many animals have bred, and they're essentially putting some animal populations in particular areas at risk, and they're driving them out of some locations and things of that nature. Folks, it's not the environment's fault, first of all. It's not the wolves that said, hey, come kill us out of a place where we're supposed to be. It's not wolves that said, hey, come kill us out of a place where we were before you got here. And one of the only reasons it was done was for money. That's basically the only reason that the wolf population was killed off to begin with. And now we have another wolf population that has exploded. So what I'm basically trying to get at is, people caused the issue to begin with by killing off the population that was there. Then people are the ones that took a species, transplanted it there, and people are the ones that allowed the animals to be mismanaged. And now people want to go in and slaughter over 1,000 wolves that have done nothing wrong other than be a wolf. Their job is to hunt and breed and survive. That's their sole purpose in life. That's what a wolf is there for. Population control. That's their job. That's what they do. And so we can't say, oh, well, the issue was allowed to blow out of proportion, and so we just go in and slaughter 90% of an animal that was put there by us and mismanaged by us to begin with. That's not okay, folks. There are other solutions to that problem. And one of the problems with what's going on, and the main problem what's going on in this case, which is what's gone on in many cases throughout our country and throughout the world as to what's really wrong with these problems, is nobody wants to call the problem what it is. And it ain't the environment, it's the people causing the problems to the environment. So people that are in those positions, that are supposed to be handling those responsibilities, unfortunately, are the ones that need to be looked at before any animals are just slaughtered because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because they were put somewhere unbeknownst to themselves by people. There's been a little over, I guess, $500,000 that's been allocated to take care of the wolf population issue. That is a very small amount of money that should be being thrown at that issue. Okay, we can throw millions of dollars to research squirrels having sex or something stupid like that, but we want to throw just over $500,000 at dealing with an overpopulated wolf, a location where there's an overpopulation of wolves. I think that the better option would be to do the right thing for the environment and put, let's say, a few $1 million towards the project, and not just slaughter all the damn animals. There's removal that you can do, and there's also sterilization that you can do to the animals. You don't have to kill all of the animals off. It is not their fault that they are there. It's one thing to ease restrictions on hunting. It's another to have an all-out genocide on animals that are doing something that's no fault to their own. So people are the ones that need to be looked at. People are the ones that need to start taking responsibility and stop putting the responsibility off on other things that have no control over the situation. The wolves have no control over that situation. They can't tell themselves that they're not supposed to be there when they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. We can't just show the future generations that it's okay when there's a problem, when we've created an issue, that it's all right to just turn around and go in and kill the problem after we're the ones that created it. So I'm asking for everybody to take an honest look at this problem, to take an honest look at this issue. If you'd like to, go to my Facebook page and take a look at the discussion that myself and Jacob Tuckett had. It's a pretty honest discussion. We're not downing each other. We're not really going back and forth too harshly. He's coming at it from a passionate point of view, and I'm coming at it from a different perspective. I'm asking everybody to really go take a look at this, because it isn't a small issue, but it is just one example of the multitude of problems in our country. The Keystone XL pipeline was shut down, and all of those jobs suspended and canceled. And what was put in place, and what option was given for those people for different jobs to go to? Was there an assistance there for those folks that their job was canceled at no fault of their own, other than they were simply there doing what they were supposed to be doing? Nope. But Joe Biden's administration ain't looking at it that way. Folks, there's problems going on throughout this country. Do I feel that fossil fuels are damaging our environment? Sure, I do. In the long run, yes. Fossil fuels have done a lot of damage to this world. However, fossil fuels are here. So canceling people's livelihoods at no fault of their own, because they chose to take jobs in that, isn't the answer. Damaging all of those people's lives isn't the answer. There are other solutions that could be made. Honest solutions. Not just, we're going to take as much money away from that side as we possibly can. Which is essentially what's occurred. Because, to be honest with you, the Keystone XL pipeline would have saved a lot of fossil fuel burn-off, such as the tractor trailers that have to transport the oil, and other vessels that have to transport the oil. So, there's other motives that are going on here. There's other motives that are going on in that case, and there's other motives that are going on with the case of these wolves in Idaho. These are problems that are serious problems because no problems are being solved. Blame is being placed elsewhere, and problems are being used as solution to problems, which isn't a solution. So, folks, take a look at these things. Really stop and ask yourself, is this really right what's going on in our country? There are people out there, scientists, biologists, the wildlife management folks, that actually have the answers to these problems. One of the problems is you have a bunch of yes men in leadership roles that don't belong there. And they're only there to abuse people and their power and to have their status. They're not really there to help the people and to help the environment as they're supposed to be, as is their job. They're doing it to feel better about themselves, period. They're doing it because they don't want to be an outcast. Folks, stop and take a look at it. There are people that are causing these problems here, not the animals, not the environment. Though the solution to the problem is going to be a costly one, it should not be the environment that has to bear the burden of the cost, because it wasn't the environment that caused the problem to begin with. It was simply the environment doing what it's supposed to be doing. So stop and think about things, folks. Say hi to your neighbor. Love your neighbor. Treat your neighbor with respect. But we need to solve these problems. We need to call them for what they are. And we need to solve these issues and stop taking blame and placing it on other things, and stop just doing things the cheapest way that we can to get out of actually correcting an issue that should be corrected appropriately. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still driving on. I'm still doing good. I hope y'all are well. I'm going to place a link to the article in the description box below. I'm also going to place a link to my Facebook in the description box below in case you wanted to see the article and the discussion that I had myself with my friend Jacob Tuckett. He does live in Idaho. He is from the area, and he is very passionate about where he lives. So if y'all want to take a look at all that information, I really implore y'all to take a look at it. I really implore y'all to start coming together with your neighbors and start talking about these things responsibly, and start understanding that there is a better way and there are actual solutions to the problems out there, not using problems to solve problems and not causing more problems trying to solve the problems. But there are solutions for the problem, and that's the way that we should be looking at it. Peace, love, and light, y'all. 12 Zodiac out.